what's up, y'all? What's up? Welcome to another episode of the infamous Limitless Podcast with yours truly.
I feel amazing. Sorry.
It's a good day, man.
I feel awesome.
You know, the great thing about us shooting on Sundays is that so much shit happens on Saturday.
Yeah.
And then
on Fridays.
Friday, Saturday, and then
early morning Sunday.
In this case, early morning Sunday. So just to get started, we're gonna hit a couple different topics today. But the first thing, if you live out here in Houston, and if you're really tapped in with U of H Cougars, U of H football, on Saturday morning,
this is around 2. I think it was around 2 a.m. It was a fatal car accident. I think as of right now, it's pronounced that I think 6 people were dead. Unfortunately for the U of H family, football family, three of those people that unfortunately lost their lives were former U of H football players. We're just gonna take a moment of silence for them. This is my alma mater, so appreciate it. Gonna take a quick moment. All right, thank you guys for if you took that brief moment with us. But we're not gonna post the articles or anything like that. You can look it up, see what's all going on. Just please drive safe, guys. It's never that much of a hurry to where you need to run a red light or that stuff. Just please drive safe, because we are approaching the holiday season, and as we know, nobody wants to deal with car insurance and all that stuff, especially during the holiday season. But now, moving on to the topics of today.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to let you start this one off because you are
so
really adamant about this. Go ahead.
I don't know if it's being adamant.
Go ahead and get Harbaugh. Go ahead. You know you want to. Go ahead. You know you want to.
All right. So for those of you that have been tapped in and been rocking with our content, we've been as the news comes out, we've been giving updates ever so often, or as the updates come. So for those of you that have been tapped in with the whole Jim Harbaugh situation, the whole cheating scandal, so just to kind of bring you up to date, they let go Stallions, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, he resigned.
Well, they fired him.
Yeah.
And then the Big Ten finally came out with a punishment. Whatever you want to call it. It was a three game suspension where Harbaugh cannot be on the sideline for any of the remainder of their regular season games. Yeah. Now, what that does with the postseason, we don't know. At this point, we don't even really know if they're going to make it to the postseason. But I digress.
Because they still have a couple more games, including
they have Ohio State.
Including the Ohio State. Yeah, they still have that one.
But I digress. My big issue with this is that I feel like it is a slap on the wrist.
Tap.
Yeah, not even a slap. It's like a ginger tap on the wrist. Because if you've been if you've remotely been tapped in with college football, you know that he already had a recruiting violation, which had him sit out the first 3 games of the season.
3 games of the season, correct.
And now we have this other thing where you're sitting out the last 3 games of the season.
Absolutely.
And it just gets to the point where, like, bro, how many chances are you really going to give this man?
Yep.
Now, I know a lot of Michigan fans, like Desmond Howard, which...
can I attack that real quick?
Well, yeah, go ahead.
All right, so Desmond made this. So did you look it up? You didn't look it up.
I watched it live on television. Okay,
so Desmond took a shot at the SEC. Now, mind you, we, as you all know, if you've been watching our content, we are diehard SEC fans at the end of the day. Yes, he's an LSU fan. I'm a Georgia fan. But at the end of the day, we are true SEC fans. So where we grew up at, where we were raised, it's where we started playing football at. SEC is minding their own business.
It's
like just minding their own business, wrecking shop, beating each other up, and running things.
Yep.
he decides, well, if the SEC, if this was going on if this was going on the SEC, this would never have happened, and it wouldn't be like this. And
so the way he said it was that if Nick Saban did this, coaches in the SEC would not have been calling for punishment. To come down upon him.
Yeah. First of all, we don't have to do that. Name a year where the SEC hasn't been relevant. We ain't got to do that.
And that's why I can't stand that Desmond even made that argument. Like, because first of all, I'm a very realistic person, and I hate talking in what ifs because the shit ain't happening.
It ain't happening.
So, but my thing is like, clearly you did something wrong. Clearly other coaches in the league know that y'all are doing this.
They got evidence.
And now you're saying because the Big Ten is trying to
they're bullying
y'all, and that they are what do you say, impeding the investigation or something along those lines, because you feel that the coaches are pushing you to bring upon a punishment rather than doing your own investigation and bringing a punishment yourself.
You did something wrong. You got caught for it. Deal with the punishment,
bro.
I know. It's like when we was talking about. I had called you about it. It's like it's no different if this was a group project and your professor assigned a group project to 4 or 5 y'all, and you had this one person that you know never really puts in effort, and then all of a sudden they come and they got all the answers. They got everything you need, and you're just sitting there like, as the group leader, you're just sitting there like, okay, yeah, we'll use that. Nah, nigga, I got questions.
So just to break it down for y'all, what Vaughn is talking about is like, essentially, Michigan hasn't been relevant in regards to recruiting in a long time.
Yes.
And now all of a sudden, since you haven't had a top 10 recruiting class, and I don't know how many years, you're all of a sudden that far better than everybody else, and you're competing for a college football playoff, all those things. It just doesn't make sense.
And you're beating Ohio State, and who's been putting your head in the dirt,
head to bed, and it just doesn't make any sense. But
no,
but I digress. So for me, it's like, I know a lot of Michigan fans are saying that, oh, well, he didn't do anything wrong. This was a rogue agent. I say to that, boo-hoo, because in the Army, and I know this isn't the Army, but the Army can relate to a lot of things that we see in the current world, is that as a leader, you are responsible for everything that your soldiers do and or fail to do. And as a head coach, you are a leader of that team, whether you want to be or not.
Getting paid,
you're responsible.
You getting
for
paid
it.
the big bucks.
Just like if your defense isn't performing or your offense isn't performing,
they look at you.
Look at you first. So with that, I just say y'all made y'all bed, y'all sleep in it.
Which is a great segue into Jimbo Fisher.
Good God,
has been fired from Texas A&M
after what, 5 years?
I think so.
Yeah, he got hired in 2018.
Yeah, 2018. After 5 years, Jimbo Fisher has officially been fired from Texas A&M. The buyout is $76 million.
Bruh. And so before I came over here for the episode, right, I was listening to the press conference.
Mm-hmm.
And the way they're going to pay this man is like, they're doing a one-time payment that comes out of the 12th man fund. And then it's going to be over a period of years. They didn't break down how many years, but over a period of years.
So they don't take a huge hit. Like,
so they don't take a one lump sum hit.
They don't hit their bank account like that.
Yeah, and it's just, man. And like we were talking about this in pre-production, it's like, okay, you got this $76 million hit.
Yep.
You have to go out and hire a coach.
Yep.
Now, since he got that guarantee, or since that contract extension happened, the market changed. Hell, that contract extension changed the market itself.
Yes, yeah, it did.
So now you got to convince your donors, hey,
we need more money.
We need more money. I know we got to fork over to pay this guy. I get that.
I know we got this fire burning over here. We need to build a house right by it.
We need to build a house
right by
it, so that we can at least try to push our program forward. And it's wild to me, bro. Like
the kicker to that is this. Not only you have to tell them that, but I guarantee you one of those donors, one of those boosters is going to be like, we were in the top 5 in recruiting for the past 3 years or so. Like, what?
Yep.
Because you can't, and I said this before, you can't hire a big name coach. I'm not going to say you can't, but it's unlikely that you're going to go hire a big name coach, because let's just think about the top 15 schools right now.
Yeah.
That's in the rankings. You want a coach that's in somewhere in that area, because he's used to a winning. He's going to bring in, a winning style. I really don't think one of those coaches, head coach, offense coordinator, defense coordinator, I really don't think they would entertain that. And even if they did, their resume is equal and or better than Jimbo's. So they're going to ask for equal and or more money.
I think they're going to ask for more
than what you're paying Jimbo, and rightfully so. Like you said, the market has changed. They're not going to come in and you thinking that you just finna pay them pennies.
Yeah, I mean, because you also got to keep in mind, right? That roster is composed to compete now.
Period.
Like they have the talent to compete.
Period.
So the coach doesn't have to worry about building up the roster.
In which case, I have to wonder, where was this? I watched some of this past game. I have to wonder, where was that quarterback at?
He was a third string quarterback.
From what I saw, it wouldn't have hurt to have put him in earlier in the season.
Apparently, he went. I didn't get to watch the whole game because I was watching the LSU UF game. But apparently, he went off.
He did.
Against Mississippi State.
He did. And rightfully so. Yeah, you want to say it was Mississippi State? So what? If he could have done that against Mississippi State, it wouldn't have hurt to have put him in earlier in the season to see what he was capable of.
But in that,
he got nothing to lose at
in that
point.
same breath, they weren't struggling. No. They weren't struggling to put up points.
I'm just saying a spark, something.
I hear what you're saying, but it's that is one of those like what's that? It's hindsight 2020.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Because if he didn't go off the way he did in this game, it would have been like, okay, well, whatever.
But you don't think that would have pushed? I can't remember the court.
Max Johnson.
You don't think that would have like propelled him to be like, all right? You don't think it would essentially been the Jalen Milroe effect?
I don't know, because not all players respond the way that Jalen Milroe would have responded.
True. But as a team player, I would think that it would have been something. Something similar. Not of that. Not to that degree, but of something similar. But I don't know. But okay, let me ask you this, and we can move on. They fired Jimbo. They got to pay him out. They got to get a new coach.
Yep.
2 questions: in-house or out-house?
So, all right. So they have 2.
That's my first question. So
they have 2 really good coordinators in DJ Durkin, great defensive mind, and then Petrino, right? I could see them going in-house. I could.
It'd be cheaper.
Yes,
to a certain degree.
It would be cheap. It would be cheaper.
Yeah.
Because they're already paying them. Only thing is, if they were to try to hire out of house, there's just not that many. There's not that many names. But on 3 on Instagram, they provided like a hot list of the coaches, and I'll have it pop up here. But they're talking about, and this is a stretch.
Oh God!
In and of itself.
All right. What you would have got?
This list is.
Let me just omit my second question. Go ahead.
Dan Lanning.
Negative.
Mike Elko from Duke.
No.
Mike Norvell. No. I would be so surprised if Mike Norvell.
Absolutely not. He's building something nice over there at Florida State.
Caleb DeBoer from Washington. Lance Leipold from Kansas. Maybe landslide poll.
Maybe
Jonathan Smith from Oregon State.
I can't see that working.
Jed Fish from Arizona. Jeff Traylor from UTSA. Urban Meyer. That's an interesting one. That's a really interesting one.
That's an interesting one. I would have to put an asterisk by that one because that gives. There has not been a program Urban Meyer hasn't been at where he hasn't brought it up to speed.
Sharon Moore, that's the guy that cried at the Michigan Penn State game.
Yes, yeah.
Dan Campbell. If he left, because he's building something great at the Lions.
Yeah, but backtrack. The guy from Michigan.
Yeah.
Even if he entertained that, he'd be putting his foot in his mouth after crying on national TV and saying that you're doing all of this for Harbaugh. He'd be putting his foot in his mouth. Even if he entertained it, he'd be putting his foot in his mouth.
And then Dan Quinn, the defensive coordinator from the Cowboys.
I don't see Dan leaving.
So that's the current hot list and the only reason I bring that up, right? A lot of those names are far stretch.
Yeah,
some of them are hell no. And that's why I personally think that it may be a in-house promotion, because unless something happens in the college landscape where a coach just loses his job, or he's just like, I can leave what I'm building here to go there. I don't see a coach readily going to Texas.
The only one I would even though all of those are a stretch, the only one that I would legitimately see, and this is literally because it is a stepping stone up from the program that he's currently in, is the coach for UTSA.
Yeah. That's
literally the only one, because you're at UTSA, now you're about to go to A&M.
But that's where what I'm thinking is,
and they could probably get him for a steal, because he can't come in and just outright request $120 million contract, $100 million contract.
At that same time, I feel, and I'm only speaking from my perspective. If I was a donor in A&M, that I would want to be able to get somebody for as low as I can, because we got to fork over the $76 million. But I also want to be able to get somebody that has the cachet
of a Power 5. Yeah.
That I know they can get the job done.
Yeah.
Or they have a history of getting the job done. And to find those two things in one coach,
it's a juggling act.
It's going to be hard. I mean, the only person I could see is, like you said, the UTSA coach, or I can't even really see that with Lance Leipold from Kansas, because he's building something over at Kansas.
I mean, maybe Urban.
Maybe,
but that's a stretch.
That's still
a stretch, though, to get,
because he knows what he's about to come into. But in the same breath, like I said before, he knows that this roster is built to win.
He could, if Urban took that job, he would legitimately cause if they were able to get him, he would legitimately cause a stir in the pot for the entire college football world.
Oh yeah, just because of his name. I mean, look at what happened when he left Florida and then eventually went to Ohio State.
Caused a stir.
Yeah.
Well, when he left Utah and went to Florida, and then left Florida, went to Ohio State. Each time he's caused a stir, but he's had winning percentages at each one of these programs.
You're right.
So that one I wouldn't be as surprised about. It would then come down to how much do he want?
Because that's the other problem.
He got his resume.
His resume is up there. So you gotta fork over some money. Are they gonna be not willing, but are they gonna be able to raise enough money to meet those needs?
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
So we'll stick a fork in that one. Definitely we're gonna keep up with that one.
There's one other thing I wanted to say about that, was just that with them losing their head coach, right? Recruiting.
Oh yeah,
that's gonna be the other big thing, because Texas A&M isn't performing. They have a lot of 5-stars committed right now.
If you had a son and he was committed to A&M, what would you tell him?
Oh, look, we need to go reevaluate we need to go reevaluate our offers because
we need to go pull them back out of the box.
Yeah, I mean, because the same thing kind of happened to me when I committed to play for Army.
Mm-hmm.
They just went through a coaching change. Like the guy that recruited me wasn't there anymore.
Oh shoot! Okay.
So that was like me and my dad really had to sit down and like, punch. Okay, reevaluate.
Yeah.
What are we going to do? Did I because you're going to have some players that committed because of the coach, some players that committed because of the school. You got to sit down. What player are you really?
So, and we don't know in the minds of these athletes that have committed to A&M, but just off of your take, would you say they committed to the school or did they commit to, he's the head coach, Jimbo?
I would say they committed to Jimbo and NIL.
I can agree with that.
That's
which is what's going to cause these decommits.
Because I spent a lot of my time because of work out at College Station.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't nothing out there, bro.
Yeah, you just get committing Jimbo.
You're
committing Jimbo and NIL. So that makes all the more sense. Which like I said, is going to cause that stir. It's going to cause that ripple effect for them.
Bro, you already have kids that are like thinking about, okay, what am I going to do now? Because clearly this is a dumpster fire over here. Do I need to stay and watch the fire be put out?
To see if a Phoenix gonna rise, or do I need to be like, you know what?
I'm about to bunk out and just go.
Hey, coach, I just want to give you a call back.
Because, bro, a lot of those players are being looked at by LSU. And LSU is like,
we know you'd love that.
Heavily.
We know you'd love that.
I love it.
We know you'd love that.
Ain't no shame in my game. I love it.
Because they're LSU is in a much better predicament than A&M. All right, so we'll see. It's going to be interesting. Well, it's going to be interesting to see how long it takes for them to hire a coach, because you don't want to hire one too fast, but you also want to wait and hire one too late, because as you said, the commits are now looking at this, so they want to see a stable environment.
So I personally think that it's probably going to happen. I wouldn't be shocked if it happened before early signing day. Like, so in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised, because you want to be able to get in a coach to help close out that class. Because
and you want to make the players feel comfortable, because the transfer portal is a thing.
So you're easily looking at maybe getting a coach in the next 3 weeks, 4 weeks. Maybe
that's a good. I would say that's not a bad time. I would say that's not a bad time frame.
Because December, I want to say it's December 4th.
Early signing day. Yeah, I think it is. Either the 4th or the 5th. Yeah, I think it is.
That's when you need to have a coach in place, because, like I said, those players need to know the coach that they're committing to.
Yes,
you know absolutely. What I'm saying. So
December 4th or December 5th, we might be doing something for that just to see, because I want to know. All right, so recap.
Yep.
Recap. We got.
Let's go and touch on your boys real quick.
Yes,
because I ain't gonna cap. Like, I ain't gonna cap on the recap. That was. I thought that game was going to be better. In the beginning, I was like, "Oh, yo, what is going on right now?" Because Ole Miss got out to an early lead.
Yeah,
they were leading
They scored first.
They scored first.
Yeah, opening drive. They went down the field and scored. And I'm like, Burke. I'm like, Georgia, what are we doing? What are we doing right now? Like, yeah, it's the first series, but yeah, I'm already up here, because Ole Miss is driving down the field, and then they scored. They drove down the field. Judkins ran it in. And then it got called back, I think, on a holding call.
And then he ran it in again.
And then they ran to the right first. It got called back. Then they ran to the left.
Yep.
And he still scored. And I'm like, what are we doing? And he ran it in, freaking arm tackle from number 6. And I'm like, bruh, please, like, I understand you're a corner, but bruh, you got to stick your nose in there. Like, you got to, like, Judkins 230-pound running back. Like, arm tackling ain't going to work, especially up around his chest. What is that?
That ain't gonna.
So then we go down and score. I think they scored again. Then we scored. And I'm like, all right, this is going to be a back and forth thing. It's going to go back and forth. And then I'm just going to fast forward a little bit. We got to halftime. And I'm like, praise God. Praise God.
Well, weren't you up at halftime?
Yes. But even still, I'm still like,
it was still
praise God, because I'm not liking how defense is acting.
Yeah, I feel you.
But we have a guy on the sideline that came from the tree of Nick Saban.
Oh, yeah,
which is Kirby Smart. Which I will go on record saying he is the guru for in-game and second half adjustments.
Bruh, I was like, good Lord. Okay.
I forget what the exact stat was that they said on SEC college game SEC final. Mm-hmm. But he made one of the guys, analysts, made the statement of saying the third quarter is when Georgia blows whomever they're playing out of the water. It turns into bully ball, and before you know it,
y'all make adjustments. You like
you done got a 2-piece and a biscuit, and both of your eyes swole,
bruh.
And that's what happened.
Y'all make adjustments like no other.
Third quarter hit, and we turned into the actual number one team in the nation.
Yeah.
Whatever, but like Kirby said, bro, we don't care about it. We just want to be one of the four and keep it going. So whatever. That happened, and we gave it to Ole Miss. And I'm not gonna say that. Well, I am gonna say that. I hate people sometimes because
that's fair.
Some of the comments, oh, Georgia's hurting another one of their best players. Okay, first of all, Jackson Dart is not the best player on Ole Miss's team. They're talking about the play. So Jackson Dart,
because I didn't watch.
So Jackson Dart drop back, nothing's open. He takes off on a scramble. He's running up the sideline. Our corner comes in here. Instead of him running out of bounds, he decides to take on the corner. The corner hits him on his right side. Defensive lineman.
This is the play that knocked him out of the game.
Defensive lineman shoulders him on the left side. They sandwich him. And he falls down. His ass should have went out of bounds.
That sounds like a standard football play to me.
It's a standard football play, and I love what a lot of the commentators said. They was like, well, 96 could have dropped it. 96 could have like smashed him with his head. Yeah. But he legitimately dropped his shoulder, and they sandwiched him. It was shoulder to shoulder to shoulder.
Yeah.
He just got sandwiched.
Yeah.
Fell down. Bro, that's your fault. Personal problem, bro. You don't take no. You know that the only way y'all gonna win, but at that point in time it was 38-14.
Yeah.
Y'all not coming back. Not with that defense. Not coming back.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, they hurt another one of their players. Bro, whatever. Tell them take
Georgia hurt.
They talking about last year. They still hold on to last year with the Mar Harrison hit or whatever. Like, it is what it is. It is what it is. It is what it is.
I'm gonna let that go because we both know what that was.
It's not targeting. That's what it was. But anyway, I'm just like, bro,
you're not supposed to be capping on the recap, people.
I wasn't targeting.
Well, go ahead.
It wasn't targeting.
Stop it. The fact that you can sit here and say
target.
that with go ahead, man. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm gonna go on record. To me, I ain't gonna lie. I thought it was targeted. I actually thought he was gonna get thrown out the game.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
But anyway, I'm like, all right, man, y'all got it. And I will say, at the beginning of the game, I did get the notification that Brock Bowers was starting. So I was like, praise God,
bro.
And he scored a touchdown,
bro. What I want to say is that boy Ladd McConkey
is raw. He is deceptive, bro. He reminds me.
He's not fast. He's quick.
He's quick. He reminds me of. So he's deceptively quick as Stetson Bennett was deceptively fast.
Yes.
Because you didn't expect Stetson Bennett to be that fast.
No.
You don't expect Ladd McConkey to be that quick. Bro just gets open.
Bro, he reminds me of a guy that I played high school ball with. His name was Stevie McCormick.
Yeah.
Quick, bro.
I don't know what it is with the
They're quick.
Them quick.
The Mechs are quick.
McQuicks.
Bro.
McQuicks.
But
it was a great game.
Needless to say, I mean, y'all locked it up, man. It's going to be y'all and Alabama in the SEC championship game.
Yeah, it's going to be
Kudos to y'all.
Kirby and Saban
Was
once
the fifth time y'all met or something like that?
Kirby and Saban once again.
Kudos to y'all, man.
It's going to be great. Hopefully we get Dumas Johnson back, but I don't think so because he was out this game. He messed up his shoulder, his arm. I can't remember exactly. But Brock Bowers is back. McConkey's healthy. Pretty much Milton is healthy. Pretty much everybody is coming in healthy on the back end of the season. Man. Carson Beck has actually, made me a believer in him because at the beginning of the season, I'm like, I want to strangle him. But
yeah, I got one more year.
The second half of the season, he has not missed those seam throws. He hadn't missed the deep throws. He's actually been reading the defense very well, which I am very pleased with that. So we got the dub. They ended up being 52-14 or something like that.
Yeah, they didn't score.
Amazing.
They didn't score in the
second
half.
So with that, let's head on up to you guys. LSU and good old Gators.
So first of all, I'm just going to say this. JD5 for Heisman.
Period.
Because
Period.
He is.
If Brett don't win the Heisman, if we said it on
this thing is cooked.
We said it on the last episode. The Heisman is an individual achievement award.
Now
that's it.
I know. In previous episodes, I said that Alabama is going to be his one only Heisman moment that they'll have. I was wrong. Because he showed his ass this game.
He did.
He's the first football player in a first college player in history.
Yes.
To have 300 yards passing and over 200 yards rushing in a single game. Lamar Jackson hasn't done that.
No.
RG3 hasn't done that. No. Hell, Tim Tebow hasn't done that. No.
Caleb Williams didn't do it.
Bruh. Watching him play was like a work of art.
It was beautiful
because
it was. I'm not even gonna lie. It was legitimately beautiful watching that.
He took off for a pair of touchdown runs, 85 and 51, and bro,
that 85 one was beautiful.
Oh,
bro, how do you outrun the corner and the safety when they both have an angle on you?
Bro, he has the elusiveness to break the ankles of the linemen and the speed to run past linebackers and DBs.
I forget who it was, but somebody compared him to Percy Harvin. I'm like, yeah, I can see that. Bro.
It's like he's Percy Harvin but can throw the ball.
Yeah, he can throw. Because he can.
Man, and I'm going to be honest.
Florida was shocked. I guarantee you, Florida was not expecting him, and rightfully so. You watch it on game. You watch him on game tape, but that still doesn't do. You may have somebody on your team that you use them as a running quarterback when y'all are scrimmaging or whatever. But it's still not. It still doesn't attest to what you see when he's on that field. It's like, okay, bruh, fast.
Bro, I saw him in person, and I was like, good God, he's fast.
Yeah, bruh, fast.
He's fast,
and it doesn't seem like he doesn't have as a track athlete. You have some guys as a former track athlete. I've watched some guys that just have long strides and they look faster than what they are, but because of the amount of distance that they cover. He outright doesn't cover that much distance when he's running,
but it's
his legs are just moving ridiculously fast,
and it doesn't look like it.
It doesn't look like it.
But bro, like I'm just when he was pulling away from those players, and then all right, just to add on top of that, like, and he was just dropping the ball in the basket, bro.
He was
like
dropping dimes. Like, I know I said it on the previous one. Penix is a magician with the ball as far as dropping it in there. He's probably right there. At this point, I'd probably say he's above Penix with accuracy.
Oh, bro.
Because he throws the ball and it's pretty with his mechanics. Penix, it's beautiful, but it's unorthodox. Like he's throwing from his hip. Penix is. Jayden Daniels is legitimately throwing from his upper body. Like it's all one motion,
bruh. Let me tell you, like when I was watching the game last night, every time I just see him stand upright in the pocket, I was like, "Oh,
it's about to be.
It's about to go down." Boom! Yeah, touchdown.
Florida really didn't know what to do. I think after that first run. We both played defense. After that first run, quarterback take off on like this,
bruh. And man, it was lovely watching that game because that was a true rivalry. Like they were chippy the whole game, bro. Yeah.
Florida, and I was like, it's Florida,
and I was happy because the refs. They were like, "Hey, just break it up." They weren't throwing flags on players.
Yeah, we're gonna let
the boys play the game.
Yeah,
and man, it was beautiful because we genuinely do not like Florida.
And it's so weird that y'all. It's so weird that y'all have almost an equally bad relationship with Florida as Georgia does, and it's like why. It's just like why,
bro.
It's like why do y'all dislike each other?
They Gator bait, bro. I just can't stand
why
them.
Y'all like each other so much.
But
yeah,
it was a lovely game, man.
There's a history on that to see what it is between y'all two, because we know what it is between us and Florida. Bro. We're like, how did y'all get thrusted into this?
I'm gonna have to keep it honest. I don't know. I just grew up not liking.
Just not like I don't like y'all.
I don't like y'all. But man, in the defense, they were very opportunistic. We got a couple of turnovers. I mean, I count turnover on downs as a turnover. So that the defense was very opportunistic, and we were able to close out the game. What?
It was 35
to 50 something. 51 35.
Because y'all scored 52 and we did.
52
it was
35.
35-52 for y'all, yeah.
So overall, it was a good game. Could we have stopped them a couple of times and got the ball to our offense a couple more times? Yeah. But we take a dub.
A dub is a dub.
A dub is a dub.
Anything over you put up 50 points on and you put up 50 points on the team, it's a dub. Yeah. It's definitely a dub.
Man.
So the gold ticket question.
Yes, sir.
You said it at the beginning, but I'm still gonna ask you.
Yes, sir.
The gold ticket question. Do you truly think that Jayden Daniels should win the Heisman?
Yes. And I'm not even trying to sound like a homer. I'm really not. It's just, what quarterback can you readily say that is doing the things that he's doing?
Nobody.
And I don't want to hear that, oh, he's lost 3 games.
No, I'm looking at his individual accolades.
Yeah, so if you were paying attention, I named 3 quarterbacks that haven't done what he's done.
That have also won the Heisman.
That have also won Heisman.
Actually, I had one more, Mariota.
Did he lose 3 games?
No, Mariota didn't. Mariota won the Heisman though, and his numbers weren't
true.
As a matter of fact, Mariota's numbers weren't even better than Bo Nix's numbers now.
Yeah, true. But those 3 quarterbacks I named all had 3 losses and still won the Heisman. And pale in comparison to what he has, to what he's doing. Done. Yeah. So, I mean, let's just be honest.
The icing on the cake is the icing on the cake should be that record though.
That should be it.
3-2.
But voters are gonna try and pull in LSU's defense. Okay. Just imagine, if you will, with me, because I don't like to speak in what is, but I'll just venture down that road right now. If we just had a defense, like you said, if we had a defense on the level of Missouri,
y'all be a national championship contender. Because
this Heisman conversation,
because Missouri is legit.
The Heisman would not even be a conversation.
As Georgia found out, no,
it would just be like. It's a formality. We're just waiting for the actual day to give you your trophy.
To give it to you. Because
look at it statistically, we're better than LSU 2019. Through 9 games, our receivers are dwarfing Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson.
Yep.
What they did through 9 games. It makes no sense, bro.
I mean, Neighbors' numbers are better than Marvin Harrison's.
And Brian Thomas is leading the nation in touchdowns.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Individual award, because you don't take into account their record. Don't take into account what the defense hasn't been able to do.
Because he can't impact our defense.
We're solely lining up Daniels' resume to McCarthy's resume to Bo Nix's resume to Carson Beck's resume to Michael Penix's resume. Whose resume wins out? Period. That's literally all that we're looking at.
Bro.
We're looking at you should be looking at the numbers based on the resume that is at hand.
And out of all those quarterbacks, LSU's strength of schedule is higher ranked than all of theirs.
Yes.
So, bro, I look, man. He should have the Heisman.
Yeah, he should.
The Heisman should be his.
He should. Yeah, he should. So we'll see how that goes. I'm right there with you. Do I think he's gonna win it? No. Do I think he absolutely should win it? Absolutely.
Well, I think that things are going to kind of shape up with this in the next couple weeks, because Penix is going to be in the Pac-12 championship. If they lose that bad, then I think he's done. And then
McCarthy, Michigan got to play Ohio State.
Bro, the fact they even have McCarthy in that conversation is just asinine on his face, but whatever.
And then on top of that, they have him above everybody. Well, no, they had him at, I think the last one I saw, they had him at number 2. They had Penix at number 1.
I think with Jayden's performance this past weekend,
it should propel him to number. It should propel him to number 1. And I'm not even gonna lie. Like I love Oregon, but they're not giving Bo Nix no love over there. And it pisses me off because Bo Nix is handling business. He is,
but you also got to keep in mind that if it wasn't for Nike, we wouldn't really know about Oregon, because
it's the uniforms.
Oregon plays when a lot of people aren't really watching college football.
Yeah.
Like they played the late game last night against USC. The only reason I watched them was because they were playing USC.
Yeah.
The only other game I watched 2 other games when they played Washington, because that was the big game in the beginning of the year.
And I watched when they played Colorado.
And watched when they played Colorado. Why? Because it's Colorado.
Yeah, but I'm gonna look at the numbers, and that's the only reason why I say it kind of ticks me off that they're not giving him more love, because, like I said, when you look at his numbers were better than Mariota. They're better than what Mariota numbers were when Mariota won the Heisman.
Yeah,
so it's like
you also have to keep in mind, like, and think if you were in their shoes, are you going to focus more on the Heisman candidate that you readily see in prime time, like every Saturday on CBS or ESPN, or are you going to focus on a quarterback or a Heisman candidate quarterback that you'll probably see them only if it's a big time game, or you have to stay up late at night to watch them?
It definitely plays it. The lack of viewership and the lack of commitment to those Pac-12 games definitely plays a part in it. Like, you just have to be like an outright standout team for people to readily view you. Yep. So they're going to play a part in it. But I think at the end of the day, like I said, should Daniels win the Heisman? Yes. Do I think he's going to win it? Probably not, unless something happens within these next couple of weeks. Mm-hmm. We'll see. So, I mean, that's my take on that. That's my opinion on that one. Now, to a more touchy, not gonna say funny one, but to a more, I will say it, a more funny, interesting one that
I'm looking at y'all
that we love to talk about.
Go
rightfully
ahead.
So.
Just
we're on two ends of the. We're on the same train.
Just say it.
But we're on two ends of the track.
Because I'm looking at these people.
Colorado.
Yep.
Colorado lost in a last second field goal to Arizona, which it sealed them not going bowling, right? Or
No.
they would have to win out.
They have to win out. Which go ahead.
Nah. Nope.
They have to beat Utah and Washington State. And guess what? Both those games are on the road.
Yeah.
So
and the way that, so just to kind of bring this in with the Utah game with the upcoming game. And I hope some of y'all have started to watch Utah, because we give Utah all the praise
they're good.
They rightfully deserve.
They have defense.
Just to bring this full circle. So Utah played Washington, put up 28 points. Utah beat USC.
Yeah.
Washington beat Oregon. Oregon smashed Colorado.
And smashed Utah.
So the reason why I say that is because Colorado is about to play Utah.
Well, they play Washington State. Then they play Utah.
They play Washington State and then they play Utah. I'm not just going to skip over the Washington State game. I just want to talk about Utah for a second. That game, they finna have some buffalo meat.
You don't believe? You don't believe?
I believe that he's gonna have a winning program. I believe that he's gonna do what he said. But do I believe that he's gonna beat Utah? Hell no. Man, maybe call.
Oh man.
For them to beat Utah.
Yeah.
I've watched Utah play. Utah has lost several of their games by fluke things. For them to beat Utah, they would have to literally come in there on their end. Yep. I'm talking about zero mistakes.
Yeah.
On the flip side, Utah would have to come into the game, but left their mentality at home. Which ain't happening.
No.
You're playing in Utah.
Yep.
I've watched Utah home games. But if Utah was in if we flip just for a second, just entertain me for a second. If we replaced Utah with Vanderbilt.
Okay.
Or if we replace Utah with our unlucky guys that always get dealt the bad hand, Arkansas.
Yeah.
We would legitimately be talking about Utah in a much higher fashion because that's how they play.
Yes.
Utah plays just outright blue collar football, bro. Yeah. We just come here to smash you.
Yep.
We ain't came to do it in no pretty fashion. We finna leave y'all bloody.
And I just don't feel like Colorado's not built for that.
They're not.
They're not built for that type of game.
Bro, Utah bullied the hell out of Washington.
Yeah.
Utah bullied the hell out of USC. Yep. It wasn't pretty, by no stretch of the imagination. It was a bludgeoning with a blunt force instrument. The only reason why they lost that Washington game is because Utah just couldn't stop Odunze.
True.
That's it. Outside of that, in the trenches, Utah won that game.
Yeah. You're right.
So now you finna go play Colorado. Well, Colorado's coming up to play y'all.
And Colorado has no offensive line.
Their defense is gassed. By the second quarter, their defense is usually gassed.
Yep.
And you still got to line up, and you know they not finna go fancy, pretty. Bro, they just finna come straight at you.
Yes.
One punch after another.
Yes.
That's an L.
Yes.
That is a hot and ready Little Caesar's L.
You're
take
right.
this and y'all take this and y'all go back. Do I think they're going to compete? Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Do I think they're going to score points? Yes. But do I think that it's going to be a close game like with the Arizona one? No. That's the last game of the season.
Bruh.
That's the last game of their season. They are trying to end that one on a shebang against y'all.
Man.
If anything, I would have asked to flip those two games. Like, let us go ahead and play Utah and let us play Washington for the last game.
The only thing I could see is that if they beat Washington State, that they're really going to come into that Utah game with like some extra oomph. Like we gotta do it.
My ass.
I'm just saying,
it ain't gonna work.
I'm just saying that's the only thing I can see happening, because if they lose that Washington State game,
because they're what 4-6 now.
Yeah, they're 4-6. Which, man, I didn't realize they lost the last 6 of their 7 games.
Yeah,
like
they did, because that was the stretch that we were talking about. That's the stretch that we was like, this is gonna be brutal.
Yeah. I mean,
that's what that was, because it was one after another.
We told y'all like November
was gonna be hell. For them. Yeah, November was going to be hell for them.
It has proven to be so.
And it's not to say, like, don't get me wrong, I absolutely 100% believe that within the next 2-3 years
he'll have it.
He'll have a team. He'll have a solid foundational team together. That solid foundational team has to start with the offensive line, defensive line, mainly the offensive line. Because like I said, it doesn't matter how many skill guys you have. To say that I was airhead and was like, oh, they're gonna, they're gonna go, 9 or whatever. Hell no! You got to build a program. Yeah, I don't care what I don't care what conference you're in.
That ain't happening.
Unfortunately, you're in the conference that, well, unfortunately and fortunately, you're in a conference that truly plays no defense. But for the guys that are there that are on defense, on the defensive line, they manhandled your offensive line. Like they threw them around.
Yes.
So it sucks, because if you had even a fraction of an offensive line, y'all would have handled things. Y'all could have legitimately handled things.
You're right.
And that would have been that. It's sad when you look at It's sad when you can look at a team, and I put them in the same boat with USC. It's sad when you look at a team and you say, okay, even if we had a fraction of an offensive line, we could do something.
Yeah.
Or USC, if we had a fraction of a defense, we would be in a much better predicament.
Yeah.
You take it on the chin and you get ready to start building for next season.
Oh, you're right.
Next season, for the real fans of Colorado, not the airheaded ones, they understood what this season was. This season was all about getting people back reinvested in Colorado football, which he succeeded in that.
Oh, yeah.
1,000%. They sold out every home game.
Yes.
I think next season has already started selling out. It's in the process of, I think last article I read, it's already getting, people are already buying tickets, trying to get tickets for next season. Next season, he has to go bowling. Like next season, I feel like it is a must in order to build a successful program. Next season, I feel like it is a true must that they have to go bowling for next season. In order for this to look like it is becoming a success.
Yeah,
you have to go bowling next season.
I personally think they will. Just looking at the recruiting classes, I mean,
hopefully we're able to catch a game next season.
Yeah, I really want to. Well, we should. They'll be in the Big 12.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's true.
So, I mean, this is Big 12 country. Yeah. Big 12/SEC country that we're in right now. So bowling is literally probably top priority for next season, aside from offensive line, which only way you go bowling is you got to get an offensive line. Yep. And then we kind of take it from there. You say you wanted to touch on the Bama Kentucky game.
Yeah. So that game was interesting. Jalen Milroe got hurt, I think, first series.
That hit he took on his quad was that was a good hit.
But after that, bruh, so they showed his mom and his dad. His mom was a petty officer in the Navy. Yeah. His dad was in the Marines. Yeah. I'm like, that's why that nigga here. Like, I'm looking at it's funny because you see, like, his mom is like when he's running, and then when he throws a touchdown pass, his dad is just like,
good job. Good job.
Like, just straight face, shades on. He's just like, but they was like, that's where he kind of gets his, they was like, his parents never sugarcoated anything with him. So that's where he gets like his mannerisms, his attitude from. And I'm like, okay, that's great. Like highlighting, Veterans Day and all that. But watching that game, I'm not even gonna lie. I am a Nick Saban fan. I know you hate Nick Saban.
Okay.
You do.
Yeah, okay.
I know you hate Nick Saban because he left y'all. But anyway, watching that game, bro, I realized just how great of a coach Nick Saban is.
Oh yeah,
because this particular team, I watched the post game conference, and he said it. He was like, I had no aspirations for this team. I had no foresight for this team. He was like, I just took the team on for what it is. He was like, this is probably one of the most fun teams that I've had in a while. Yeah. Because let's just look at the team for a second. You have no just diehard killer defensive players. They're a collective.
Yeah,
for the most part.
They are.
Offense essentially the same.
Yep.
Minus Milroe if you want to.
He's the X factor.
He's the X factor. But they are no number one receiver.
Nope.
No real number two receiver. No real true Derrick Henry, Mark Ingram.
Really not.
Kenyon Drake. Josh Jacobs running back. Not.
Yeah. You know, this is like the first team that I feel that he's had where that stress of winning isn't really there.
It's not.
Because, like you said, no one really expected anything from this roster.
Because we said this in preseason when we were looking at the team. We were like...
they shocked me. I wasn't expecting...
There's nobody really on the page that stood out. See, teams of old, he was like, oh, shit, they got Derrick Henry. It's like they got Mark Ingram.
Yeah.
It's like they got Devontae Smith.
Julio Jones.
They got Julio Jones. It's like, bro, what the... At one point, talking to Milton about it. At one point, I'm like, bro, is Nick Saban growing running backs in the backyard? Because bro, it was just like one after another.
One after another, bro.
But this season is like, okay.
They're all right.
They're decent.
But I feel like it's one of those things where you have Nick Saban's a good enough coach where he can make do with good players. Like, they don't have to be extraordinary.
They just have to be good. Yeah, because don't get me wrong, he still rips off in the ass when they make a mistake. Like, that's who he's going to be. But I will say this. If you take that team and if you put any other coach in that, if you put any other head coach in,
they would not be in the position they're in right now.
I'm not going to say Kirby because Kirby had... Yeah, we had a team or two similar to that. But for the most part, any other coach, you put them in that team is not, 9-1? I think they are 9-1 now.
Something like that.
Yeah, 9-1. That doesn't happen.
You're not going to see the success that they're seeing right now.
They may be, 6-3 or something like that? Maybe.
And that's why I feel like it's a true testament of Nick Saban as a coach.
Yeah.
Because we talk about it, development is key, but he is showing you that he is like fully capable
of developing players. And we've seen it from week 1 to week 2 with Milroe being benched to now week 3 and so forth and so on. And we said it before, like, bro, how do they keep winning games?
Bro.
But they thumped Kentucky.
Yeah,
they thumped Kentucky. Kentucky, I thought, was better than. I mean, even though we beat them, we thumped them too. I honestly thought Kentucky was probably better than my initial assessment. But Kentucky still got some work, and for starters, they got to get another quarterback.
I'm gonna say this, and this will be your first time hearing it, but I think that Stoops is on that hot seat.
What if he go to A&M?
Ooh. That'll be interesting.
That'll be interesting.
Because let me tell you, they get thumped by Tennessee, next week?
Yeah, I think
something like that. Next week after next.
Because what did Tennessee just lose to?
They lost to Missouri.
That's right.
They get thumped next week?
Yeah.
It's going to be ugly.
Yep.
It's going to be ugly.
He's definitely on the hot seat because, once again, it's one of those things. Power 5 boosters, donors expect you to compete.
Yep.
It is a direct correlation to your contract extension. We expect you to compete, and that's that. I don't want to hear no extras. I don't want to hear none of that. We not trying to be a Vanderbilt.
Oh, I'm sorry. They already played. They already played Tennessee. They lost to Tennessee.
Yeah, they lost to Tennessee. Oh yeah, they did. Tennessee. We played Tennessee.
Yeah, y'all played Tennessee. We let me not say we. Kentucky plays. I think they have a bye week this week, and then they play Louisville.
Oh, that's a L.
That's a L.
Oh, that's a L. In-state rival. That is an L.
That's an L.
They didn't lose that one. They are going. If they don't lose, if they beat Louisville, I know something because I've watched Louisville. Unfortunately,
Louisville's so surprising.
Unfortunately, because Louisville games are like during the week. Right. Louisville had a Wednesday game and then they had a Thursday game. Like
I just didn't know.
And then they had a Friday game.
When I saw that Louisville was 9-1, I was like, "What the hell?"
Yeah, under the radar. Quiet assassin.
Number 11 team under the radar. That's wild.
They are quiet assassins.
That's wild.
Quiet assassins.
They are, but hey, it is what it is.
All right. So previewing this upcoming week.
And the SEC is not this is like that 1 week in the SEC where we're playing like out of conference teams. Like LSU's playing Georgia State.
Yeah.
Alabama's playing
y'all playing Georgia State?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
We're playing Georgia State. I think at Tiger Stadium.
Is Jayden Daniels even starting?
Oh, yeah, he going to start. we got to lock up 10 wins.
He's going to go for 700 yards.
We got to lock up 10 wins.
He's going to go for 700 yards.
Alabama plays UL Monroe.
Yeah.
Y'all play.
We play Tennessee.
Y'all play Tennessee.
We play Tennessee.
Which, finally. Yeah. Let me not say finally. I'm sorry. Not finally. Because y'all are playing teams now.
Oh, God.
Y'all are playing teams now. I apologize. I redact my last statement that I made.
On that, with that, I'm not that particular point, but I was part of the Georgia football group on Facebook, and somebody made the comment of like, they said Georgia, but then they added in the rest of the SEC as well. And it was like, Georgia and the SEC is like, they don't play anybody. And I'm reading, I love reading comments.
People be going
I go underneath and I read the comment, and one dude was like, okay, Georgia had a cupcake schedule at the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
And then you want to add in the rest of the SEC. He was like, but what happens when the SEC plays these teams in the playoffs? And or the national championship, and we destroy them. He was like, I'm not just talking about Georgia. He was like, I'm talking about LSU. I'm talking about, years ago, Florida. He was like, tell me what happens then.
Wait up now. Wait up. We're not going to act like LSU and whip y'all's, in 2019 in the SEC championship game.
No, the point that he's making is saying that the teams saying that the SEC or in Georgia and the
isn't playing anybody.
Don't play anybody. And then when they do play them in the playoffs or in the national championship, what happens to those other teams?
Oh, they get smacked.
They get destroyed.
Yeah. They get
Alabama,
smacked.
USC, Alabama, Notre Dame.
Yeah.
What happened to y'all?
Yeah.
Like, I can only account for I think once or twice where a team beat. Who did Ohio State beat to win the national championship?
Alabama.
They beat Alabama. That's truly the only one that sticks out.
And they had a game out of this world when they beat them.
That was a game. Yeah, that was a game. But it's like there's truly not a time where you truly see a team of a different conference play an SEC team and they smashed them.
Yeah.
There's no.
The only argument that people could make is Florida State from this past year.
Yeah, and they right down the corner. So they're an anomaly. They're kind of an anomaly this year as well. Same thing with Clemson.
We'll
see how long that lasts.
They're just quiet.
I think they had another struggle win. So.
Against Miami.
Yeah, they had another struggle win. But anyway, previewing this upcoming week. Yeah, we have Tennessee, but I think everybody else is like out of conference games.
Yeah, Michigan plays Maryland.
They're icing on the top game. Honestly, that would be a nice upset if Maryland pulled that one out.
I don't see that happening.
Yeah, I don't either. But it would be nice.
But then after that, Michigan plays Ohio State.
That's going to be
always a good game.
That's going to be a good one. Yeah, it's always going to be a good one.
I think that would be a better game this year.
Colorado got Washington State.
Yep.
Who does Oregon have? I can't remember who Oregon plays.
Arizona State, I think.
Yeah, I think they got Arizona State. Okay. So we will see. I know as the news broke with the Jimbo and the Jim Harbaugh, I'm pretty sure there's going to be some more that's going to follow that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, did you see what I sent you, though?
What'd you send me?
Messenger. So Michigan has now, let me see if I can pull it up real quick. Michigan released documentation saying
Did they send stuff to other schools?
No. So Jim Harbaugh in Michigan said Michigan has sent documents to the Big Ten showing Ohio State, Rutgers, and Purdue communicated over Wolverine signals in 2022.
Bro, miss me with that.
Bruh, somebody commented. They was like, so they ain't got to come. So now they snitching on everybody.
Yeah, we snitching. Miss me with that, bro.
They snitching on everybody. So they was like, this is far from over.
If I'm going down, you're coming down.
And then there was like
me.
one of the investigators or somebody is related to Ryan Day, bruh. It is a cluster,
bro,
going on up there right now.
Bro.
This ain't the end of it. I know this is not. This is by far nowhere near the end of it.
Bro, they just
because Harbaugh ain't going on without a fight.
No, they just trying to survive right now, bro.
Yeah, they treading water. That's why they doing the bet, and you got the offensive coordinator.
Yeah, you got the quarterback talking about bet us against everybody. No, fool, y'all did it.
The person that's on y'all staff did it. He made you believe so you was something you really weren't.
Like I usually rock with people when they say us against everybody, but like
it comes down to it's cheating.
Right, like stop it. Y'all cheated.
Not y'all. Is the players didn't cheat.
But y'all are just collateral damage in this.
Exactly. You took the words right out of my mouth. That's exactly what y'all
gotta
are.
Live with it.
Unfortunately, that's what y'all are.
Sorry, not sorry.
For whatever reason, nope, I'm not even gonna say that. I'm not putting that bad juju out there.
Okay.
Georgia 3-peat. I'm praying for it. I am outright praying for it.
I'm not.
That's very mean. It's very mean of you.
And it's a very selfish reason why.
That's very mean. Why? Because y'all
I don't want to hear your mouth.
Because y'all defense is
no. Because I don't want to. No. That's not it. It's because I don't want to have to hear your mouth for a whole year, a whole off season.
What's wrong with that though?
What do you mean? What's wrong with that?
What's wrong with it?
Because every time I see you, you're going to talk about Georgia 3-peat this, Georgia 3-peat that. I don't want to hear that shit.
Okay, but when LSU won 2019, I had to hear about that for a whole year.
First of all.
I know first of all.
I acted like we've been there before.
Okay, but take into account, when was the last time Georgia won a national championship before they won these past two? The freaking 80s. No.
You weren't alive.
I wasn't alive.
Okay.
So I've had to survive all the way from before Mark Richt to the Mark Richt era to
Look at the tomfoolery I had to survive. Yeah, we won 2 national championships.
Y'all won with Nick, y'all won with Les, and y'all won one with Orgeron. I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, we did.
Exactly.
Yeah, we did.
I don't want to hear it. The only reason why you hate Nick Saban is because Nick Saban left, went to Miami, and then left Miami and went to Alabama. That's the only reason why you don't like
That's a legitimate reason.
Whatever. No, it's not. Because if y'all wanted him, y'all could have got him back. 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 Y'all didn't want him back.
All right,
y'all was butthurt.
So bet.
Y'all was butthurt.
If Kirby Smart left,
okay,
said, I'm going to the NFL. Don't worry, I'm not going to any other SEC team.
Okay.
Then comes back.
Okay.
And goes coach at Florida. You wouldn't be tight.
Yeah,
exactly. So with that being said, we want to thank y'all for joining us for another episode of the LIMITL3SS Podcast. We love y'all. Like, comment, subscribe. And with that being said, I'm about to leave this ignorant individual alone.
Georgia go 3-peat.
Oh my God.
Y'all gonna see it. He gonna be tight, but it is what it is. Love y'all.
Love y'all.